What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to EP09. Picture this, if you will. You take 7th place at your first Olympia in 2021. 2022 rolls around, you take 5th place, top 5 in the world in Classic Physique. Then falling to 8th place in 2023. And suddenly in 2024, out of seemingly nowhere, you take 2nd place to the most dominant champion to ever grace the stage in the Classic Physique division. And suddenly, you are skyrocketed to the expectations of being potentially the next champion of that division. That exactly is where Mike Sommerfeld is finding himself right now. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to EP09 Bodybuilding. And Mike Sommerfeld dropped some updates at 4 weeks out of the Arnold Classic, looking absolutely ridiculous in these latest updates. This guy is going to be ready. Conditioning is off the charts. It looks like he put on significant size, I think, in the legs. It looks like the arms have grown just a little bit, which is exactly what he needs. This is going to be a very dangerous version of Mike Sommerfeld, ladies and gentlemen. This very well could be the individual that defeats the current reigning champion, Wesley Vissers, who actually took home, of course, 2 Arnold Classic titles in 2024. And these are the final physique updates that we will see from Mike going into the show. He is now officially going shadow mode so that he can show all of the hard work that he's really put in since the Olympia to showcase those improvements on the Arnold Classic stage. Him and his coach Neil Hill have done an absolutely fantastic job. I actually did find out that Mike ran into just a little bit of a snag in his prep, though. Some recent footage at 5 weeks out from Mike Sommerfeld as well on his YouTube channel. I will put the entire video in the description below for you guys. But the problem that Mike actually ran into was, given the fact that he's actually doing this preparation in part down in Mexico. Now, apparently, getting some of his supplements, and we're talking over-the-counter supplements here, you guys, okay? Were a little bit difficult for Mike to actually obtain when it comes to getting them over the border. His protein powder, he actually mentioned on a recent interview that he did on the Dennis Wolf podcast. Wesley Vissers was on that one as well. Apparently, he couldn't get it, and it doesn't look like he's going to get it before the show rolls around. A small snag, but every little piece counts when it comes to the preparation for one of the biggest shows in bodybuilding. And like I said, especially given the position that Mike Sommerfeld is in right now. He needs everything working to his favor. Now, I'm sure that he did find protein powder somewhere down in Mexico, but I'm sure for a period of time, maybe just a little bit of stress there. Regardless of that, it doesn't look like it has knocked him down one single point. Mike is going to be ready, and Mike will be doing battle with Wesley Vissers for that title. Make no mistake. Some of the advantages that Mike has over Wesley, Mike has that size in the lower body that Wesley is lacking. Conditioning, I think, is going to be comparable, especially given what we are seeing here, but this will be a battle of complete opposites in the Classic Physique division. Are they going to look at Wesley with that more golden era-esque physique as being maybe more in favor in the judges' eyes? Or will it be the more compact, wider, denser version of Mike Sommerfeld, who does have extremely, extremely good classic presentation to go along with very classic lines? You guys, this is going to be one of the most anticipated battles at the Arnold Classic. There's a lot of people that are looking forward to this like they are just as much as the Open. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be absolutely ridiculous. For now, this is the final update that we'll see from Mike Sommerfeld. So we'll see if he has done enough to knock out the 2-time champion of the Arnold Classic, being Wesley Vissers. You guys let me know in the comments below if you think that Mike Sommerfeld has done enough to do that. And if he does accomplish that, is there anyone out there that will be able to defeat him at the 2025 Mr. Olympia? Being at just under 4 weeks out from the show, we are now seeing ridiculous conditioning from pretty much all of the competitors out there that will be on that Arnold Classic stage. We're talking, like I just said, Mike Sommerfeld. We're talking Wesley, Matt Grego, Samson. These people are all looking ridiculous. But then you see updates of Derek Lunsford, and it really does make you wonder if this guy is going to be ready. Derek recently appearing at the Bev Francis Powerhouse Gym, Steve Weinberger's gym, of course, the head judge of the Mr. Olympia and the Arnold Classic coming up. And when I saw this footage of Derek training, I was thinking, Derek does look like he is starting to dial in. We're seeing striations through the shoulders where, of course, he is training shoulders. But regardless, I think the conditioning factor after I saw this did give me a little bit more hope, because if you guys caught my last video, I am not overly optimistic that Derek Lunsford is going to come in with the conditioning that he needs to defeat Samson Dauda. Like I said, after I saw this, I did have a little bit more hope. But then I saw this picture of Derek at 4 weeks out at the Powerhouse Gym, and I'm just not seeing what I think I've seen from Derek in the past at 4 weeks out. The conditioning factor, I just am not seeing at this point. I mean, just go look at anyone else. Like I said, the conditioning factor is there. Derek's training partner, Matt Grego, looks unbelievable right now, you guys. From Derek, I'm just not seeing it. Now, I recently caught the latest episode of Heavy Muscle Radio where Chris Aceto, of course, this first season working with Derek Lunsford, did say that Derek is going to be ready. In fact, Sadiq Faruqi was on the ground at this showing from Derek at the Bev Francis Powerhouse Gym, and he said that Derek looks ready. Now, look, I trust Sid. I do trust the work that Chris Aceto has done in the past. Absolutely. And, I trust Dave Palumbo's opinion as well. But for what we're seeing here, I just think that this is a little bit too undeniable of the fact that we have seen Derek much better at 4 weeks out of the show. So I do want to know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Do you guys think that Derek Lunsford does look behind, considering that he is currently at 4 weeks out of the Arnold Classic, a show that he absolutely has to come in and at least take second place? I mean, look, taking second place to Samson Dauda, who looks to be at his absolute best, I don't think there's any shame in that, even for a former Mr. Olympia. But any less than that, and I think it absolutely will affect Derek's credibility. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below about that. But listen, I really want to see some improvements from Derek over the next few weeks, or it will stand when it comes to my predictions that I will have Derek below Andrew Jacked, Samson Dauda, and Carlos Thomas Jr. Of course, not in that order. Rounding out this video with some recent physique updates of Nick Walker at 13 weeks out of the Pittsburgh Pro, where we will see the rematch between Nick and Martin Fitzwater. And Nick actually taking to his social media with some very choice words about that rematch in particular, saying that there is no way that Martin will be able to defeat Nick at his best when he couldn't even defeat him at his worst. Of course, that being the New York Pro 2024. Very choice words from Nick, considering the fact that he missed the last two Olympias and Martin finished top 4 at his Olympia debut. You guys might remember Nick finishing top 5 at his Olympia debut. And although I do like what I'm seeing from Nick right now, I'm looking forward to seeing what Nick does to transform over the next number of weeks. This is good form. I think, like I've said in previous videos, the balance from top to bottom is better than it has ever been. You can see that quad sweep does look improved. He's never going to be able to improve the fact that he just has a lower hip tie-in, but given what he's working with, I think that the legs do look wider overall from side to side. This is going to be a very good version of Nick Walker. That is, if Nick can bring that crazy conditioning factor that he's been so very well known for. Planning on bringing back the mutant in 2025. For those of you that have been watching Nick's recent training videos on his YouTube channel, this is actually a little bit higher paced than what I've seen him do on there. But honestly, I would be bored to death with the way that Nick is training right now. These slow and controlled reps that you typically see him doing for all of his training sessions. I mean, I would be bored to death, you guys, but you can't argue with the results. But as we've said previous, and we will say it again, this year is do or die for Nick Walker. He needs to make it happen this year. It is his year of redemption. Will he be able to do it? Well, we're going to find out in just 13 weeks. But I'm going to wrap up the video right here. Thank you guys for tuning in to EP09. Be sure to like and subscribe.